11 at night. Yesterday, for you it's your morning, and I am, I just wasn't willing to give up being with all of you. And I am thrilled that you were all willing to give this Zoom experience a try, and I could celebrate Paula's Choice Skincare's 25th anniversary. I was going to be in Europe, and I mean, I can't complain. I'm in my home in Hawaii, which I love, but really, my dream was to be with all of you and yeah, thank you for doing this. It means so much to me. I'm Paula Begoun. I'm founder of Paula's Choice Skincare. I've written, I don't know, 21 books on skincare and beauty, probably more, but I stopped counting at some point and lost count. The first book was 1985, and I went on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and she called me the cosmetics cop, and I never looked back. This has been my career. I've been in the cosmetics industry for as long as I can remember. My passion, even when I hate the cosmetics industry, my passion is still skincare, skincare formulary, and skincare research. And I would like to let all of you know that I'm joined here with Francesca Cambuli, who is amazing. I wish I had even just half her education. Francesca is manager of education for Paula's Choice Europe. She also has a very fancy degree. They kicked me out of college. They let her out with a master's degree. And I have to read it because I can never remember her exact title, because we don't have this title in the United States because it's too fancy for the United States. She has a master's degree in pharmaceutical chemistry. So she joins us not only for education and information, but also research, understanding formulary. The team, you know, we make sure and double check ourselves all the time to stay up to date with the information. So whatever we tell you, we have the research and the information to back it up. So I want to go over some stuff for my anniversary about Paula's Choice, past, present, and future. But along the way, because I want it to be like we're together. And one of the things that, for those of you who have been with me during events before, I love questions. So that little chat button that's at the bottom of your screen, when you click on that, you can ask us a question. If you want your name, you want to ask the question without it being public, you just hit it, just click on Francesca's cute little face, and you can privately chat with her. She will see the question, and then she will ask me your question if you prefer to do it that way. So did I hit everything? I want to make, I mean, I want to, you know, the technical parts of this. I'm almost a Zoom expert. I'm wondering if I should start as a Zoom blog. So in thinking about, well, 40 years in the cosmetics industry, 25 years formulating products for Paula's Choice, my passion has always been about what is the truth about taking great care of skin. Not the myths, not the hype, not the miracles, not the, you know, just what is the truth so you can have the skin you want. Because our slogan for Paula's Choice is beauty begins with truth. And what we mean by that is that when we formulate products, they have to contain the ingredients that do what we say they're going to do. Because I don't want anyone to go through what I went through when I was a girl with bad acne and eczema and oily skin, and everything I used just made my skin hell. I didn't want anyone else to go through that. And, you know, I started a career because I was just pissed. I was just angry at the cosmetics industry, and all I have done my whole life for the 40 years I've been doing this and writing books and formulating products is researching what is true about skin. And truth is an interesting word, because in the world of skincare and skincare research and skincare physiology, is we learn so much research has been done, and we know more now than we ever knew. And the research is evolving. It's still changing. However, if there is anything that has stayed the same, and I mean the same, is we have known for decades that inflammation and irritation of any kind is bad for skin. Anything you do that inflames and irritates the skin is bad. Pollution is bad because it's inflaming and irritating. What the foods you eat that are inflaming and irritating, the sun damage that is inflaming and irritating, that what you do and then apply to either orally or topically that irritates and inflames, the research has never contradicted that. That is always bad for skin. So Paula's Choice and all my research has always revolved, that part has never changed. What has changed is what we know about sun protection. We know more now about sun protection than ever before. We know about pollution protection. We know the role antioxidants can play for protecting skin from pollution. We know now about what we at Paula's Choice call superhero ingredients. Now, just so you know, I'm going to talk about some superhero ingredients, but skincare is never about one ingredient. One ingredient simply can't do it all. Skin is too complicated, way too complicated. There are some brilliant single ingredients that can do incredible things, but at Paula's Choice, we make sure that the formula includes all the ingredients that are important for skin, but some ingredients are more helpful when they are in higher concentrations. So some of the first things that I'm most proud about Paula's Choice is the research we do, the way we go about looking at formularies and addressing skin type and skin need. To this day, products, there are products that can be for all skin types because they're lightweight and fluid, but I can't use a product that says it's for all skin types if it's a lotion or a cream. So we were one of the first product lines to create skincare routines, even anti-aging, because just because you go over 40 or 50 doesn't mean you still don't have oily or combination skin. I'm 66. I still have oily combination, I tend to break out and I have clogged pores. There's, the notion that age or gender is a skin type is a lie. It's not true. You treat the skin you have, and that is what we have always done at Paula's Choice. We don't use jar packaging. Still one of the only companies that doesn't use jar packaging, because jar packaging, you take the lid off, it won't keep the beautiful ingredients that I want to get on your skin stable. So we've done a lot of firsts at Paula's Choice. The list goes on. But I want to tell you about, there's a new product that we just launched recently that reflects the way we do what we do, the way we look at the research and the way we put formularies together and look at how I can do the best for your skin given what the research says. And in this case, excuse me, let me take a drink of water, hold on. Sorry. So this is Paula's Choice Present. And what we did is we created a retinol bakuchiol product. It's 0.3% retinol and 2% bakuchiol. Now, what you might have read about bakuchiol is that they did a study a couple of years ago, took 44 women over 12 weeks, and they put retinol on half and bakuchiol on the other half, and they said, oh, look, they work the same. They absolutely do not work the same. Bakuchiol is not a substitute for retinol. Retinol is an ingredient that has been studied for 50, 60 years. It is a cell-communicating ingredient. It absorbs in and literally tells unhealthy, sun-damaged skin cells to stop being damaged, making flat, unhealthy skin cells, and start making rounder, healthier, normal skin cells. Now, it doesn't quite go from here to here, but retinol can tell skin cells to start making better skin cells. That is not how bakuchiol works. What bakuchiol does, when married with retinol, supports what retinol does to help skin make better skin cells. So bakuchiol's strength is improving skin discolorations because it interrupts the pathway of damage that causes skin discolorations. It is a potent antioxidant. Now, retinol is a great antioxidant, but bakuchiol is an even more potent, stronger, and stable. There are not a lot of plant extracts that are stable antioxidants, which means it interrupts free radical damage caused by pollution. So the marrying 0.3% retinol together with the bakuchiol takes the best of the research and puts them together. Now, it doesn't just contain retinol and it doesn't just contain bakuchiol, but because it contains hydrating ingredients and ceramide, it contains a whole bunch of other ingredients to help support skin structure and skin's hydration and the other things skin needs. But these two hero ingredients, when combined, are the bioactive part of the formula that improves certain aspects of skin. So just to be clear, so one of the products I'm really proud of over the years of Paula's Choice is my 1% retinol from my clinical line and my 1% retinol from my booster line. So some products I'm proud of because I love them and I use them. I'm somebody who is sensitized to retinol, so I can only use it once a week. Sometimes not even that. I'm allergic to retinol, always have been. So one is I'm proud because I know that it matches the research. The delivery system for both products is this beautiful, slow delivery, unique delivery system. The reason I love this product is it took 5 years to develop. We had so many failures along the way, but I wanted to launch a 1% retinol product that had slow delivery, that had all these other supporting ingredients with it, and I didn't let it go. We just stayed on it and stayed on it and stayed on it. So this one I'm proud about because it is exactly the kind of retinol product I would want you to use if you have advanced sun damage, advanced signs of aging, acne, and we got it done. We didn't let it go. The team just hung in there with me. We definitely had the meetings where they said, you know, Paula, give it up already. You know, it ain't happening. We made it happen. The other product from Paula's Choice history, I think many of you might know about it, is my 2% BHA liquid. This is my, on a desert island, you know, it's, I don't know, it's, you know, it's, well, it used to be Brad Pitt. I don't know who it is these days, but this is my, it would be my toothbrush, Brad Pitt, and my 2% BHA and sunscreen. When the first exfoliation, leave-on exfoliants versus harsh scrubs has been well known. Scrubs on skin as a problem, harsh scrubs, not gentle scrubs. Like I use a washcloth. or my Paula's Choice Unscrub on my skin every night to make sure my face is clean and I've gotten all this makeup off. But exfoliation is different from scrubbing, gentle scrubbing. Scrubbing is about cleansing. Exfoliation is about getting to where the built up layers of dead skin cells are, which are below the surface of skin. Scrubs can't get there without ripping and tearing, and you'd be bleeding and oozing all over the place. So the first one I made for Paula's Choice back in 1995 was my 8% AHA. Now we have since updated it. It isn't quite the same formula. We put in some of the newer ingredients a few years ago, but it's still an 8% effective pH to help exfoliate dead layers of skin the way skin used to be able to do when we were young, before sun damage started damaging the ability for skin to exfoliate naturally. That I accidentally, sometimes I find things in the research accidentally. I just, I'm looking at a topic from, depends on what area of medicine or, dermatology or cosmetic dermatology or plastic surgery, and then I run into information. And shortly after I made the AHA, I ran into research about BHA for blemishes and acne and clogged pores. And this changed my life. So we took salicylic, so we're a cosmetic company that doesn't use irritants, right? So no alcohol, no fragrance, no essential oils, nothing that is hard on skin. So it's very difficult to formulate a BHA product, salicylic acid, without alcohol. This took a long time. It was something my team did not want me to make. Well, we made it, and then when they all tried it, they said, no one else is gonna like it. I said, look at my skin. I'm not breaking out. Look at my pores. Come, I'll take off my makeup. Look at my pores. Are you kidding me? And so they actually disagreed with me. But it's Paula's choice. And there are, I often, Francesca, I often listen to my team, but there are times I say, wait a second, hello. And this actually now, I forget how long ago we created it.
20 years. 20 years.
Years ago. Mm-hmm. And it is globally, in I don't know how many countries, our best-selling product. Asia, South America, Europe. The people struggling with clogged pores and blemishes is very difficult, and oily skin, and getting off built up layers of dead skin. And when you stop trying to scrub it off and you start using a BHA that's gentle, that doesn't contain any alcohol or any irritants, it literally can change skin overnight. For some people, it can just be astounding. And it still amazes me that kind of set my career globally. I went from, little me in the basement of my house, and just went, yeah. Sorry. So I want to mention just a couple of other products I'm particularly proud of, and then I'm going to tell you a couple of my product failures. I have some great failure stories. I've formulated over, well over 200 products in my career, and obviously not all of them have seen, have come out, have been, launched, because they didn't work for many, many different reasons. But two of the products that are in my booster line, that the research about them and formulating them to be lightweight and stable and robust, beautiful formulas is my 10% niacinamide booster and my 10% azelaic acid booster. And it is just coincidental that the percentage of both, because the percentage of different active ingredients, like it's unusual that it just turns out that they're the same in terms of how they are most effective. Azelaic acid is a long-standing ingredient. It's been around forever. It's a good ingredient, but not as exciting as salicylic acid. But then the research came out about it being amazing for skin discolorations, redness, and rosacea, and red marks left over from acne. Then I was all over it, and we put together, it also contains a little bit of salicylic acid, contains beautiful anti-inflammatories, but it's a very unique, beautifully smoothing, goes on light, and it followed the research. So what turned out to be in the early research just an okay ingredient ended up being even better than I could have imagined in terms of these other skin problems. And then niacinamide. So my skin balancing line is one of the first product lines I created. And the reason I created it was for me, because most products on the market were for lotions and creams and for, didn't take into consideration my skin type. So part of what Paula's Choice Skin Balancing was all about was kind of centered around niacinamide. And the research, niacinamide is the B3 vitamin. And the research about niacinamide was pretty impressive about how it would improve the shape of pores. But then recent research showed that higher concentrations, and then we actually experimented and tested on our panels even higher concentrations than what the research showed to see if it could be even more effective. And it was. And then we launched the 10% niacinamide booster. And now this and the 2% BHA are mainstays of my skincare routine. So I'll tell you one product, well, maybe two product failures. I'll tell you one, I can't believe I'm going to tell you a product failure. So back in the day, alpha lipoic acid was a very popular antioxidant ingredient that a lot of companies said they were using, and the research about it was intriguing. And we started trying to formulate it with it. And I was always surprised when I did see other companies that had it. It was at the end of the ingredient list, which meant there was just a little bitty bit of the alpha lipoic acid in the product. And the reason they didn't put a lot of it in is because it stinks. It smells like sulfur, like rotten eggs. So we were experimenting with, because we don't use fragrance, right? So we can't cover it up. So what can we do to work with it, make it effective, find ingredients it work with, and that would also reduce the smell without fragrance. And we used a soy extract at the time. And the product came in and it smelled like turkey. I swear to God, it smelled like turkey. And I remember thinking at the time, who came into my office? It must have been Kate or Brian, and they said, "Did you cook turkey?" And I no, we just got the new product in with alpha lipoic acid. I think we're done trying to make a product with alpha lipoic acid. This is not going to work. Oh my God. We tried so hard. So, there's so many products. Oh, geez. Sorry. Questions? Any questions, Francesca?
Yes, we are receiving some questions already. Well, first about the new product. Birgit is asking, is Bakuchiol suitable for very sensitive skin as well? Because many people with redness and sensitive skin can't use retinol products.
So just to be clear, there are a lot of people with sensitive skin who can use retinol. In fact, the research about retinol improving rosacea is pretty significant. So being allergic or sensitized to retinol does happen, but even somebody with sensitive skin or rosacea can successfully use retinol. It just depends how you're using it and what concentration, because some people want to jump in and they want to use 1% and they want to use it twice a day, or the product comes with essential oils or fragrance and irritating ingredients, and it might not even be the retinol you're sensitive to, but the other ingredients it's coming formulated with. Having said that, 0.3% is a pretty low concentration in terms of sensitizing. I can use 0.3%, I just can't use it every day. I use my 1% once a week, and so I just want to get some of the benefit I know retinol can impart on my face. But there is no reason to not consider, you would consider the 1% retinol if you have advanced sun damage, and then if you wanted to see how the Bakuchiol works for the other benefits it provides, you could do the 1% one day and the 0.3% retinol and 2% Bakuchiol the next day. Or you do what I do, once a week, once every other week. Again, if you, the higher concentrations are generally when you have more severe problems, more advanced problems, and then the lower concentrations of Bakuchiol are really about some amount of maintenance, skin discolorations, and overall skin health. I wouldn't say that for advanced sun damage, because you haven't been listening to me about the sun, because nobody in Europe listens to me, then you would want to alternate between that and the higher strength retinol product. By the way, one of the questions I've been getting around the world, but especially in Europe, about, you know, what terrible things are happening to my skin because of COVID, because of being sheltered in place. And I'm thinking my Europeans are doing better than ever because you guys are not out in the sun. Oh my God. You are all, I know you are all going to look younger this year than ever before. I know that you're going to have less crepey old skin. I mean, I don't want us locked down. Believe me, I am the last person on earth that is for locking down. However, having said that, if I could get you locked down in August and inside and out of the sun, I would be a happy woman. You would be happy because you would have the best skin of your life. So having said that, the other thing that is radically important, no matter what else I tell you about skincare, is that sun damage and pollution damage is hell. It is hell. You cannot hope to sun damage your skin, which starts at birth, and hope to have the skin you want. In fact, the research about, you know, people ask me, when should I start using anti-aging products? And what I always say is birth. You know why? Because you're born and the next day you're older. And what you start doing from birth through life triggers so many problems if you don't do the right things. Protect from the sun. Don't eat sugars. Products for babies absolutely have to have pure mineral sunscreen, SPF 30 or greater. If a baby's skin sees the sun, it needs to be protected from the sun. Baby's products should not be fragranced. Fragrance causes irritation. Irritation and inflammation kills skin. Baby's products should be loaded with antioxidants because they're subject to pollution too. And pollution, one of the things that's happening in the world that I think we're all noticing is the reduction of pollution. The skies are clear. The pictures from Delhi and Mumbai, my husband is Indian and we spend a lot of time in Mumbai. The pictures from India are astounding, from Asia. I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen the sky in Seoul, and there it is. No, so I mean, I don't want to suggest there's something that COVID has, I would rather not have found out that we were doing better because of COVID, but because there's less pollution in the world, your skin is doing better. And because you're not outside tanning and being in the sun, because when you're not wearing sunscreen, sun damage begins within the first minute. The first minute, skin sees daylight. And that includes coming through windows. So sun protection, and that has been a cornerstone of Paula's choice for a very, very, very long time. I have more in terms of, we actually only do one body product because we're mostly a neck up product line, but my thing has been trying to formulate sunscreens that you will love using. We have worked on the concentration of ingredients, the mix of beautiful supporting ingredients and textures that your skin will love, because the best sunscreen is the one you use and the one you're willing to apply liberally, SPF 30 or greater. These are two of my absolute favorites. They're very lightweight. They do not feel heavy. And my personal preference is pure mineral sunscreens, and these two both contain titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. There were, if you thought in the past that pure mineral sunscreens felt too heavy, I don't think you'll feel that way about those. And now I'm not sure I answered the question because I just kept talking and I don't even remember what the question was.
Yeah,
was there a question? Sorry.
The question was from Birgit, if Bakuchiol is suitable for very sensitive skin, like people who cannot use retinol. But
yeah, so okay, sorry, I went down a rabbit hole. I apologize. What you're reading is that Bakuchiol is a substitute for a retinol alternative. That is not true. That is not true. It is not a retinol alternative, a natural alternative to retinol. It is different than retinol. It works differently in skin. It actually works a little bit more superficially. Retinol absorbs into where the living skin cell is. It talks to living skin cells. That's not how Bakuchiol works. So Bakuchiol, because of its properties, is actually a soothing ingredient. It's bioactive, but not like how retinol is bioactive. So the short answer that I really should have started with is yes, sensitive skin would like using Bakuchiol.
So actually, yeah, that probably also answers the question from Margit. She says, if Bakuchiol is good plant-based alternative to retinol, why do you still need retinol in your formula? I think you just
because it's not
covered. Because
I know you've read that. I know you've read that. In fact, I like I mentioned, I have the study here that everybody is quoting. It's not a stupid, I'm going to say it's a stupid study, but it's not, it's barely science. They basically took a 0.5% retinol cream and a 0.5% Bakuchiol cream, applied twice daily, 44 people for 12 weeks. And they said it worked the same. Well, 60 years of research. One research paper that's 44 people, and you look at them, and 60 years of research says very clearly how retinol affects how skin cells are formed, taking damaged forming skin cells that get mutated because of sun damage and help make them more normal. And that's not what Bakuchiol does. Bakuchiol does great things in terms of how it interrupts the pathway of how skin makes skin discolorations, how it interrupts. It's a very potent, not a lot of natural ingredients that are antioxidants are potent and stable. Bakuchiol is one of them, so it lasts in the skin to prevent free radical damage from pollution. It's a soothing ingredient. It has fascinating properties. It ain't retinol. Any other questions, Francesca?
Yes. Again, on the use of retinol, how do you feel about mixing products? For example, using mixing the 1% retinol with an oil just to have less irritation and using it more often. Is it a good option?
So that's an interesting question.
It's like buffering.
Well, you know, I've seen that recommendation. I wouldn't. That's a hard one for me to answer. So two things. One is that layering skincare products is great. I layer skincare products. I layer my azelaic acid, my niacinamide, my 2% BHA, or I use one in the morning and one at night, and some of the other products I use on my skin. Layering products is great, but how do I say this? I would try a lower strength retinol product before I would use a product just so I could use retinol. I think that's a waste. If your face needs plant oils because like we have a plant oil booster because of the benefits that gives to skin in terms of hydration and soothing, and especially for dry skin, and the antioxidant benefits from the plant oils we've chosen. We chose very specific ones. If your skin needs those and then you apply the retinol over it, that's great. But to use a product just for the sake of being able to use retinol, I mean, retinol, I know I carry on about how great retinol is and azelaic acid is and niacin. I mean, there are definitely superhero ingredients that do incredible things, but I can't use retinol, you know, once a week. Do I wish I could use it more? Yeah, I wish I could use it more, but I'm not going to use a product just so I could use it more, I guess is what I'm saying. Who asked that question? Did I answer that question? Well, I think I didn't. Did I make sense?
It's Annie from Bear Minds, right?
Did I answer?
She's nodding.
I think I did. Did that make sense? Can you unmute yourself for a second? Annie?
Yes, of course. Yeah, it made sense. It's just that mixing has become such a trend these days that people tend to mix everything. And I tend to do it with your retinol product because I really love the results, but I don't know what's it with my skin. Sometimes I can use it several times a week and sometimes I can't. I suffer from irritation and, like other people have mentioned, like really raw skin. So this is when I tend to use like a jojoba oil and mix it in, and that's when I notice that I have less irritation.
So I need you to mute yourself again because I start hearing myself in echo. Thank you, dear. So actually, I have this debate with Brian, who I've written many of my books with and formulate products with over the years. And he feels that the layering, that is what he uses our plant oil for, is to apply the retinol. So we actually disagree on this one. But sometimes when I'm talking to beauty reporters and bloggers and press, I know that you throw a lot of shit on your, a lot of stuff on your face. Sorry. I know because people send you stuff, I send you stuff, and you feel you have to try everything. So I don't know sometimes if some of the irritation you feel you may be getting when you use the retinol is from the retinol, or because somebody sent you something and you felt you had to put it on, and I don't know what the hell it contains. And okay, next question, Francesca.
Yes, I also want to add that we will try to cover all the questions if we can't, because we have roughly 20 minutes left. we will get back to you by email later on. And anyway, we have some time after the meeting is over if you want to hang out a little longer with us. So,
right. So I'm going to stay another 30 minutes after the formal part of the event is over. And those of you who just want to chat and unmic yourselves, unmute yourselves, and we can just chat about skincare and answer questions. Yes.
So we have a few questions about the vitamin C. One is from David. He says, or she, oh he, here he is. What was it like formulating the C15 booster, because it's such an unstable, sometimes problematic ingredient? Do you want to?
So many ingredients. I don't even begin. I don't want to tell you how problematic most ingredients are. If there is a, you know, I get so worked up about the research, and then to get so disappointed when you can't get an ingredient stable the way you want it to be stable in the texture product you want it to be stable in. So yes, vitamin C is tricky. Niacinamide, oh my God. Niacinamide is an even bigger headache than vitamin C. Retinol is a nightmare. BHAs, the reason most BHAs are irritating formulas is it's very difficult to formulate a BHA without alcohol to stabilize it. I mean, we took a lot to get it. So, sorry. Having said that, by the way, there are 2 vitamin C boosters for Paula's Choice. One is C15, the other C25. And it's always about, concentration is always about advanced problems. The higher concentration is when you have more stubborn skin discolorations, you have more problems with sun damage just in general. So the stabilizing part, actually, I couldn't do it. So we actually turned it over to a lab that specialized in it. So that was actually quite a project. That wasn't easy, but we did it. We did it.
Yeah.
And we did it for both, the C25 too. That was, thank you for asking. I'm very proud of this.
Also about vitamin C, Annie also asked, could bakuchiol be an alternative to vitamin C? And she's talking about the antioxidant benefits, because vitamin C is so naturally unstable and bakuchiol is so naturally stable. Could that be an alternative?
I don't, so the way we, so 2 things. The way we formulated our products, they're stable. Not everybody formulates their products so they're stable. They turn color easily, and you can see that it's not stable. So there are ways, and there are companies that have stabilized their vitamin C. Skin needs more than one antioxidant. And the thing that's unique about vitamin C is there are substances in skin that sun damage and pollution makes it so your skin stops making it. So vitamin C is one of the natural antioxidants that would live in your skin if sun damage didn't destroy your skin's ability to make vitamin C. Ceramides, hyaluronic acid, glycerin, lecithin. I mean, sorry, I'm blanking out. The list goes on and on. So what is intriguing about vitamin C in terms of a benefit for skin is it's not that it substitutes for bakuchiol, is that it is good to feed your skin the substances it can't make for itself anymore that would live in the skin naturally and naturally protect it. Does that make sense? It's kind of like why we formulate with ingredients like hyaluronic acid and ceramides and glycerin and on and on and on, to put back into skin what it can't make for itself anymore. So bakuchiol is just one potent, very beautiful antioxidant, skin color improving, meaning it helps you to balance your own natural skin tone, soothing agent, but I wouldn't necessarily, it's a substitute, it's another option. If you're having success with vitamin C, I would consider using, if you wanted to try the Bakuchiol, I would suggest using the vitamin C during, during the day or in the evening, or vice versa. So you would use one in the morning and one in the evening and see what improvement, if there is accelerated improvement. That's what I do with my skincare, is I'll use, I use my 2% BHA and azelaic acid at night. And during the day, I use my ultralight serum, my Paula's Choice skin balancing toner, and my 10% niacinamide during the day. So I get a happy group of, bioactive ingredients to my skin throughout the day.
Yes. Yeah, you probably covered this. Can you use the new product, so retinol plus bakuchiol, with the 1% retinol booster?
Yes, but I would alternate. I would use one day and one the other day. And again, we're talking about the higher concentration of retinol is when you have advanced sun damage or advanced signs of aging. As a rule, higher concentration of ingredients, and this isn't always true, but as a rule, higher concentration of ingredients is for more advanced skin concerns, which is some of why we put the 2% Bakuchiol in. Not a lot of people are using that high a concentration, but when it comes to what Bakuchiol can do in terms of improving skin tone, improving, working as an antioxidant, as a soothing ingredient, the 2% concentration seems to be what the research says is the best level to have the best effect.
Great. We have Nina. She used to have severe eczema and eventually got rosacea. And she says she got everything under control with Paula's Choice products, and after a few years.
Is that you, Mom? Is that a family member? I'm teasing. I'm sorry. That is the sweetest thing to tell me on my anniversary for Paula's Choice. That is. I'm sorry.
Nina, where are you? Nina, here she is. Well, she's asking because after a few years, she tried the 1% retinol treatment, and only twice a week, but she got a reaction. Burned, the face burned, skin was red, eyes were swollen. So she's willing to try again, and she would like to know how to proceed.
Let it go. Let it go. You need it, you don't need it. There's I don't always use the 1% retinol once a week. Sometimes it's just because I'm lazy. Skin will do fine as long as you're giving it all these other things it needs. Retinol is not the only ingredient. You're fine without it. I'm more worried about you being in the sun. The kind of skin type with eczema and rosacea, I don't even want you to bother. Forget it. I don't even want you to do the 0.3% Bakuchiol and 2% Bakuchiol. I don't want you to do it. You have a very tricky skin type. I have a little bit of rosacea. I don't have a lot of rosacea, but I do have some, and I definitely struggled with eczema most of my life. And oh God, my skin was hell. So you'll do fine. Life will be good for you. Let it go. Let it go. I mean, believe me, I would love for you to use 1% retinol, but it's not. Don't bother. You're doing fine. Worry about sunscreen. Worry about sunscreen. Next question. We have a few more minutes.
We have 8 minutes, and I have a question from Lisa. She has very dry, very sensitive skin, prone to allergies and breakouts during certain phases of her cycle, we know. And she says she has good experience with the 8% AHA lotion and can use it twice a day, which is amazing. But she's curious to know if she wants to step back and reduce the use of the AHA lotion, will her skin go back to how it was before?
Is she saying that she's, I'm sorry, Francesca, is the question about breakouts?
I think, well, Lisa, are you there? She says.
Lisa, are you there? Lisa, what are you, take yourself off mute. What are you asking about?
So actually my question is, would I have, so I got it here, I use this.
Yes.
And
I know it well.
I made very good experiences because I tend to break out really bad, like from the inside, like really thick spots. And I often have little eczemas and it really works really well. But I was wondering, do I have to use it now, like until the rest of my days, or is it possible to get a good way of using it, but not every day and all the time, because I don't know.
Have you not tried our 2% BHA? Were you not able to use our 2% BHA?
Not yet, no.
Okay, so two things. One is that, Francesca, will you make sure Lisa gets our 2% BHA? I'd like you to try that instead of the AHA.
Okay.
AHA is great, and some people with breakouts have good experience with it, but 2% BHA is where the research really lives about improving breakouts and the problems you're talking about with your skin. So that's number one. Number two is don't be afraid of using it twice a day.
Okay.
I'm not sure what your concern is about. Like, are you thinking it could be doing something bad to your skin? Is there a reason you don't want to use it twice a day?
Like I tend to use like really not that much because luckily I don't really need that much makeup or something, or that much care. So maybe that's just my thing of not getting to.
You want to do less.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So,
let it go. Let it go, because it's especially when you have a skin disorder like acne. You know, and stop touching your face. That'll help a lot. Stop. Move your hand down to your neck.
I know I'm doing it all the time. So.
Yes, I just saw you. We've been talking for 1 minute and it's all over. Keep your hands off your face. Yeah, like you can touch here, but don't touch here. Okay, sorry, couldn't help myself. So, the way AHAs and BHAs work on skin, they're very helpful for skin. They're hydrating. They help restructure and strengthen skin. Both AHAs and BHAs have incredible properties. There's no problem with using it twice a day. However, I understand the desire to do less, but when you have certain skin disorders, if you cut back, then the risk is it will get worse.
Okay.
So you can experiment and see how your skin does. But for me, I went down to once a day after I turned 60 and I stopped getting my period, you know, when I went through menopause. But prior to that, you know, if I missed a night, it didn't look good in the morning because I just had blemish prone skin. I mean, it was my disorder and the way it showed up. So you can always experiment with it, but I'm hesitant when someone has acne or rosacea or eczema or some other skin, you know, like advanced signs of aging and trying to cut back. It just doesn't work because it's not a cure. You know, it doesn't cure anything. It's keeping skin, it's giving skin what it needs to be balanced and healthy and normal that it can't do on its own.
Okay. I guess the no cure thing was the thing.
I wish there was. Believe me, I wish there was. I would make it and buy Hawaii. There's not. Next question. We're going to do one more question.
I think we covered them all. Just one is Alexandra is asking if the new product is safe during pregnancy? That's a common question.
Ask your obstetrician. I stay away from that. That's different doctors say different things. I'm not going to make us after the baby comes, go for it. But
yeah, exactly.
Until then, talk to your physician. That's too hard, too difficult a top. Yeah, no, I don't know. There's no research, so I can't speak to it anyway. But in this situation, even if I thought there was research, like there is for retinol, that's still up to your doctor, not me, when you're pregnant. So it's midnight here. I'm going to hang out for another 30 minutes for those of you who can stay and want to ask questions and talk about skincare. Thank you for trying this new way of spending time and letting me celebrate my career with you and celebrate feeling beautiful and proud and confident. And thank you. I feel honored and privileged that you took this time. I just had coffee. I would rather it be champagne, but then I couldn't sound very intelligent. God willing, next year we will be together. We'll be out of sheltering. We'll all be wearing sunscreen and spending time talking in person. And you should all stay healthy and well. And happy anniversary to Paula's Choice Skincare. Thank you for being part of my family.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.